You, what's goody? What a zip up sweater I had. Oh, there's zip up sweater. I could just use that. You, yo, this video we about to go in real quick. I gotta do this download because it's imperative that we get this out right here. All right. In this download, I'm gonna break down angels and demons. Good looking. Thank you. Appreciate it, baby. We're gonna break down what angels are and what demons are, like literally. Like maybe you heard this concept before, maybe you have not. Well, I don't know. But I want to break down. First of all, I want to break reality down to you real quick again. What you gotta realize about reality is this. Boom. Let me make sure I'm charging right here. All right, cool. All right, so what we want to realize is this. And I'm going to go deep in this one. We got to understand astrology. You know, I don't hear people talking about this a lot, but it's very imperative that we understand astrology. Astrology is super duper important. It's a science, it's our religion. You know, humanity's religion is astrology. I don't care what religion, if it's Islam, if it's Christianity, Buddhism, it's all based in science books. Those were the sciences of that day. And our science and mathematical sciences of the day was our observations of nature. That's what the stories in the Bible are, just the observations of the constellations in nature. All right? So what you got to understand here, to understand the mind of God, to understand what's really going on here. This earth realm is not a place of heaven. You're not here to enjoy life. That's not what you're here to do. You're here to be tested. You're here to prove yourself worthy of vibrating yourself out of here. This is not about having kids. This is not about having family. This is not about you building a legacy or some selfish, self-centered ideology. That's not what this is about. Life is a virtual hologram. It appears that you have a body to yourself. It appears that people exist outside of you because you are being astrologically, holographically projected here. And this place that we're in, and these are the keys to the kingdom. I'm giving away keys to the kingdom. I'm letting you know what's really going on here. It appears that you have a body. It appears that you're black, white, whatever they call it, whatever. You are experiencing your own mind. You are living within your own mind. And because this is all that you know, and you haven't truly questioned what this is, you go along with the go along. And some people are so asleep within this dream that they haven't awoken to the fact that they're dreaming. Once we start to ask ourselves the questions that needs to be asked for us to break open our minds, then you'll see that reality is not much of what you thought it was. Now, what I'm saying to you is that everything is electricity. Your mind is electricity. Everything that you feel like right now is cold out here. You know? It's cold where we at right now. But the cold is no more than codes. Electrical signals being sent to my brain, my soul, my mind, to tell me that this is what it is. And so it's holographic. All of this stuff is holographic. Now, what that means is that this is a virtual world, and that your soul is a character, is a piece of the God. I like to call it the God game. That's what this is, the God game. And so, everything you do is being recorded by who? You. You're recording everything you do. You will get away with nothing. Not a lie. You do somebody wrong. You do something to someone else that's fucked up and foul, you're going to pay for it. Everything you do is recorded. And your heart is recording it. So it's all about intent. You make a mistake, your heart knows you. It knows your intent. It knows what you really meant. That's where you be judged, by your heart. So once we understand that this is a holographic world, we say, damn, none of this is real. I'm being tested. Everything is a test. You having a child, you having a family, you being born in the world that you're being born in is nothing more than a set up obstacle course. Everything is an obstacle course. Everything is testing you so that you will prove to yourself that your character is worthy to go to the next level or vibrate high enough to the next level of existence. That's the only way out of here. Okay? Everybody external to you is a reflection of light to you. And this is where we get into angels and demons. An angel, in order to understand an angel seriously, for real, you would have to understand light, life, consciousness. In order to understand that, you would have to understand astrology. Why? Because when you get your astrological natal chart, what do you see? You're going to see a circle. And then you're going to see all these lines bouncing everywhere. And you're going to say, that's your natal chart. And they'd be like, well, damn, that's my natal chart. Look at my natal chart. It's lines just bouncing here to here to here to there to there to there. And you don't really know what that means. Those lines are light. Cosmic light. Cosmic light and how it refracts off of this. And then you start studying deeper into astrology. It goes into showing your houses, angles, aspects, squares, trines, oppositions, and such. With that being said, when we study the true mathematics of life, consciousness, when we start studying the mind of God, the mechanics of consciousness, we start studying astrology. When we start to study astrology, what happens? We start to realize angles. Angels are angles of light. Demons are angles of light. All is coming through the sun and powered by the sun, and the sun is on different frequencies of life. Demons are thoughts. Angels are thoughts. Everything is made through thoughts and works through thoughts. The mind uses thought to manifest itself. So, if your thoughts are negative, that means that light is refracting itself in an opposition or squared way. We call it squared because it's bouncing in a way where it's not spiraling, in a way that it's able to bounce itself, because the communication between light and itself, light, is what creates understanding. Light must meet light and understand and communicate on the same frequency for it to understand and be constructive. When light is not communicating with itself constructively, it's called destructive interference or communication. Destructive interference or constructive interference. Now, when you have a negative thought, we call negative thoughts demons, because it's light deflecting itself in a way that's not allowed to communicate with itself to bring understanding. You understand? I'm light right now and I'm talking to myself, which is you. And those that hear me are on the frequency to receive the light and understanding from what I'm saying. So when it hits you, you can understand. But those that don't receive the light, it will deflect itself to itself. And it won't be no kind of, and it will create what is called demonic thoughts, negative thoughts, negative feedback. It's life. Once you understand it, you can master it. Okay. So now we understand how light refracts itself and what a demon is. A demon starts as a thought. Before you can do something negative, you got to think about something negative. Before you feel negative, you got to think negative. So to become an observer of your thoughts is to become to become aware of spirit, because thoughts are energy. And when we speak of the word spirit, we're talking about energy. You can't, that's what spirit is, it's energy. Now, once we understand that spirit is energy, the word spirituality becomes to have a different meaning. We're talking about the study of energies and how energies work and the details and the mechanics of consciousness, energy. Now, once we understand that, we have to ask ourselves, okay, now I've become the observer of my own thoughts. Now I can control the way I feel. Now I can hear my own thoughts to regulate and consciously regulate what I allow myself to experience. And I become the master of my reality when I can observe my thoughts, because your thoughts create your reality. Everything starts with your thoughts. And then when you understand how your mind works, because your mind has a mechanics to it, and it's called an astrological birth chart. Your astrological birth chart is going to tell you how the mechanics of your mind and how your mind actually works. This is why you have to get your natal chart done. Once you understand how your mind works, then you can become the master of your reality, because you know how you think. And when you know how you think, you become the observer of all your weaknesses and strengths, and then capitalize off of them. This is what life really about. This is what life really about. Know thyself. Understand how life works and what this really is. You're in a holographic universe, and you're only being projected to yourself. You're the only thing in existence. You're the only thing that exists. You're only dealing with yourself. There's only one enemy, and that's you. There is nothing external of you. You're only dealing with refractions of yourself. Light refracting itself to itself, responding to itself, the universe communicating itself to itself. So an angel would be light that communicates properly at a high frequency. So someone comes to you and gives you good advice, and a thought that enlightens you and brings you to a higher state, or thoughts that when you listen to it, it brings you to a higher state of understanding of what really is, or what you had confusion about. It brings enlightenment and breaks up confusion. This is an angel. Some people call it a messenger, but the messenger is nothing but an apparatus or a catalyst that allows you to understand some part of yourself that you didn't understand before. We call these angels. Angles of light that vibrate at high frequency, and when they bounce off of each other, it creates enlightenment, evolution, love, understanding, and everything that creates destruction, that takes away from life, that doesn't produce life, produces what goes against life. That's called demonic. And let's talk about the fallen angels. Let's talk about how the earth is a heaven. Let's talk about how the astrological beings that's here, genetics. Let's talk about genes, because if we're going to talk about astrology, we have to talk about the Akashic records. Where does these astrological energies come from? Where does life come from? Where does consciousness come from? The Akashic records. It comes from the Akashic records. Now, where is the Akashic records? The Akashic records is in your DNA. That's what the Akashic records are. Your DNA. Your DNA holds all of the potential possibilities of everything that could be, that ever will be. It's all in the Akashic records. Nothing can happen that will ever happen that is not in your DNA. It is coded. This is the mind of God, DNA. The quantum soup of possibility. And through DNA, the picking of genes will express life through genetics and genes. So yes, your astrological chart was hand-picked from your DNA. From DNA, which is the Akashic records. Take the Akashic records. Then you get the gene and you pick the gene. Now, the gene in its natural state has pure information that comes down and expresses itself for a purpose. But what happens when that gene, that information, the gene is the piece of DNA, which is the information that will express itself through the cells to do a certain purpose. Now, it has natural purposes, and then you have genetically modified purposes, which takes a gene and alters or mutates the gene to do something that it's not even supposed to do. So now we have the mind of God and then pieces of God all around. All of us are expressions of God off the DNA. We're genetic organisms. Pieces of the Akashic records expressing itself. God's mind, the mind of God, the infinite possibility of whatever could be, expressing itself off of these mechanical genes. Now, when the gene is modified, unnaturally mutated and modified, what you have is demonic play out, because the gene represents the light that's refracting in, because everything, the genes, the DNA is light itself. It's all of light and all of possibility itself. When you pick a piece of light, that's what you are. You're just a piece of the light that is all of the light, but you are the light. But you are, at the same time, being the light, you are only a piece of the light. And the piece of the light is what you call your ego, your natural ego, your sense of self, and what makes you feel separate from all of the other pieces of light, refracting itself to itself. When truly at the same time, you are existing as light, refracting its mind to its mind. So you are in a holographic virtual world of your own mind, and you are God existing simultaneously in you as you are existing in the person next to you. Simultaneously. This brother right here is me. This brother right here is me. All existing at the same time to play a game called God, life. Now, in this game called life, depending on what you did in your past mission or life, you will come back and live out the effects of the causes you made in the last life, until you become fully aware of what you are and vibrate high enough to become the I am and go back to the first dimension, which is God. People will tell you that we're trying to get to the fifth dimension. That's because they live backwards. We're in a third dimension, being projected from the second dimension, which is being projected from the first dimension. The first dimension is all of possibility, triple dark blackness, all of possibility, the soup, the quantum soup of possibility. The second dimension is the microscopic world, which you came from, which you are a whole bunch of microscopic beings vibrating at a condensity to project consciousness, which is in the first dimension, through the second dimension, which is a collection of microscopic beings, that the consciousness is able to project itself to itself holographically through to a third dimension. And your job is to understand that you are God. That's the name of the game. Figure out who you are. That's what the Eye of Horus is about. That's what the Ankh is about. That's what all of life is about, to figure out your God. Only for you to forget again and play the game at its lowest, what they call ages, lowest self, all the way back till you get the consciousness at the certain time of age that you will have the ability to realize that you are God again. And then when you realize you're God again, then you go play the game again, and then you keep doing this for eternity. This is what's going on, and always will what's going on. Then the essence of this game, the molecule of this game, is something called, what do you call it when you lose your memory? Starts with an N. When you lose your memory. God, the word escapes me. Amnesia. Let's start with an A, I'm sorry. Amnesia is the essence of this game. The forgetfulness. Amnesia is the essence of this game. Now, without amnesia, you would remember that you are God, and then there would be no life, there would be no existence. But you made it so that you would forget that you were God, so that you could play this game. All of us are God, refracting itself to itself, but you are just God from your perspective, an angle of light. Now, once you figure out how light works, then you're going to be able to see your reflection in others and see what vibration and frequency this person is reflecting from simply by their actions. You can watch people's actions and know their thoughts, because people's actions, remember, actions come from thought. Feelings come from thought. So somebody's acting out from their feelings, then you can connect their actions to their thoughts and know if that's a demonic being or being that has possessed. When they say possessed, people say that beings come into beings. No. Beings come out of beings. People will tell you that the beings are hopping in and out of people's body. It don't work like that. Beings come out of beings from thought. It all starts with a thought. That's why belief is so powerful. Because if you believe in something, it becomes real. The mind is an amazing thing. Ask somebody that took ayahuasca. Ask somebody that done DMT or acid. It's an amazing thing. Your subconscious mind is that quantum soup that we all love to talk about. The quantum field of possibility. So you can notice a demon by their thought form. You see them all the time on the timeline. They have negative things to say. In order for someone to say something really stupid and negative to you, they have to be vibrating. Light has to be refracting in their mind at a frequency that doesn't allow them to see that, number one, they're you. Number two, You are a reflection of them, and whatever they project is actually how they feel inside. Whatever they see or attract in their life is something that's projecting them to themselves to show them. See, people don't know how to think and don't know how to live life. When something happens to you, usually we take defense instead of looking at the situation and what it's bringing out of you and the spirits that it's bringing out of you and paying attention to how you're feeling and all of the things that's coming out of you from what you experiencing in front of you. Instead of you paying attention to those feelings, you are so busy and consumed with pointing the finger, with going after, that you do not set back from the situation and say, wow, look at this situation and what it's brung out of me. Look at what this situation has brung out of me, because maybe, just maybe, that situation was presented to you to show you some part of yourself that's arrived outside of you, some spirit that's come out of you, some energy that's come out of you for you to look at that and correct it. But as long as you're pointing the finger, you will get the same lesson over and over and over, because you do not know how to think and you do not know how life works. It's funny, the video everybody put out about me in the pedophile video, I said, wow, not only am I looking at the situation on how, and I notice the feelings that I'm getting from the situation, and notice where I need to grow from the situation as far as personal, because I'm always looking at the situation and how it makes me feel, and what demons it evokes, what energy or what angels or whatever it evokes in me. I'm going to address that first. Number one, what does it evoke in me? Because that's, first of all, everything is here to make me grow. Everything is here to make me see myself. So at the end of the day, I'm going to always look and say, wow, how do I feel? I want to notice my spirit. I want to say, damn, this thing I'm looking at or observing is some kind of reflection of me. And when I see it and I experience it, what kind of feelings evoke in me and why? I want to self-analyze first, because that's what the main course of everything in life is doing. You got relationships that don't go your way, and you got people call you and complain to you about what's going on, and don't realize they attracted that person in their life to show them their self and everything they need to work on. But as long as they point the finger at the other person and say, oh, this person, I'm going to do this to this person, I'm going to do that to this person, and this is the spirit that comes up. But behind that spirit, behind all hurt, behind all pain, behind all things, is something that arrives in you that you need to work on yourself. But we do not look at these things. We rather point the finger, and this is our way of hiding. But what I'm telling you is that you cannot hide. You will not get away with it. You will get the same lesson over and over, and everything is a reflection of you, showing you yourself. And until you become intimate with your own self when you're dealing with situations in life and see where it evokes in you and address that, you will remain getting the same lessons in different forms. You think you moved forward in life, but you didn't. It just turned into another form. And you never escaped the lessons and the proving grounds that you need to evolve into God, into the I am, into understanding and realizing what you truly are, until you learn the lessons of reflecting, self-reflection, self-analyzing. You will never understand life and how it works until you learn how to think. You have to learn how to think. You have to learn how life works. You have to ask questions first. You have to dive deep into understanding what life truly is for you to master it. And you must take it personal. Everything is about you. This is you.com. Everything that you judge is a part of you. And everything that you feel from whatever you experience in life, whatever electrical signals that you see, you might see the video online. You're like, oh, hell no. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Wait. Relax. Let's talk about this. How does it make you feel? Okay, why does it make you feel like that? Obviously, you got this lesson. First of all, you have to look at everything as life is class. Every day you wake up, you must be conscious that you're going to get tested. You must be conscious that you're going to get tested. You must become a conscious being for you to graduate this level of existence. You are here to prove yourself that you are able to vibrate high enough out of this realm to graduate. This is why the most beautiful people get assassinated, because they have graduated. Duh. The only way out of here is death. It damn sure ain't. What do you think you're going to do? How do you think you're going to leave here? And if you die before your time, you're going to come right back in some other form, in some other time. It doesn't matter. It's infinite possibilities. You might come back as something that we never ever heard before as a species in some kind of other fucking world, as some other, but the situation and the lessons will be the same. And it doesn't matter if you're a fucking ant and you live in an ant farm and the red ants are against the black ants, and you happen to be a black ant, and that's the bad ant to be. And so you got to figure out, this is the same kind of lessons in a different species that you'll have to come back to get the same lessons that you needed for your soul to vibrate at a frequency high enough to graduate that level of plane of existence. This is why they say, thou shalt not lie, thou shalt not steal, love one another, do unto others as you have them to do unto yourself. Because at the end of the day, they are yourself. And everything is you, and you have to learn who you are. Now back to the subject at hand. Demonic beings. Every one of us, well, most of us, in our charts have debilitations, square aspects, opposition aspects within our chart that lets us know our challenges and our weaknesses and what's the things in your life that will be projected to you through people, places, and things that you're here to experience and learn. And instead of us looking at this map in life, this cosmic mathematics that show us the mechanics of this mind we call God and how it works, how brilliant astrology is. Unbelievably accurate. If you start looking at the world as a virtual world and refraction of yourself, what you're going to realize and feelize. Let's say feelize, because your nervous system is here for you to collect information to level you up. So especially don't touch your hair, because your hair is your crown. Your hair is energy busting out of your head. It is your crown chakra, literally. And every lock and every synopsis and connection of neuron, which you call hair, every follicle is connected to the Akashic records. But they never told you the technologies of your body. They never told you the real technologies and broke it down so anybody can understand it. The Akashic Ray, they make everything so fucking complicated when everything is so damn simple. Why? Because Albert Einstein said this stuff. If you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough. If you can't help somebody become greater in their life through your words and make them understand something very complicated and break it down into something very simple, then you don't understand it well enough. You cannot articulate it in a way that people can understand you clearly. They have a mind to actually understand you that's listening. Pay no attention to the demonic beings in the room. Pay no attention to the demons, the angles of light debilitated to themselves that won't allow them to receive this message. Pay no attention to the obstacles set out to distract you from this message. Pay no attention to these beings. They will always be there. They're there to be obstacles, hurdles that you must go around, over, under, and through. Stay focused. The fastest way to knowledge of truth is nature. Stay focused. From point A to point B, what's the fastest way from point A to point B? Straight line. Stay focused. They're supposed to be there. They're doing their job. Stay focused. What are we talking about here? Yeah, you see them. Still stay focused. Can you stay focused? That's your own subconscious distracting you from your own self. You're dealing with your own self. You're here to prove yourself worthy, and you cannot do that without focus. One thing they have done to you in this age of internet, if you come from the 80s and 70s, you knew we do not live in the same world no more. We are now in a different level of plane. We're in a different level. We have went into another universe now. We are not living in the same world that we grew up in. You know, if you're from the 80s and you're from the 70s, you are not in the same world. This is a whole nother plane. We are not in the same plane of consciousness. We are not in the same level of plane of existence. And don't treat it like so. You are in the information age. The age of mercy. The age of knowledge of self, where you have the ability to know thyself, whether you choose to fall for the distractions and the disturbances set out for you as obstacles and let that thing hinder you from what you need to do, or you're able to see through it. And I'm your spirit guide to tell you stay focused. They're going to beat you. They're going to stone you. They're going to crucify you. They're going to tell you you ain't shit, especially when you live and speak and be the truth. But I tell you to stay focused. They cannot kill the truth. They will never steal the lie. They will never steal the truth. The devil came to steal, kill, and destroy. And you see they're trying to destroy everything that's righteous and pure. What have I said that was wrong? What have I done that was wrong? What have I did other than tell people about life and truth? Why do they hate me so much? They hate me because I am the way, the truth, and the light. And what I'm saying to you is divine wisdom. I am you. You are connecting to a part of yourself that gives you the highest of thoughts. I'm not asking you to come to me and follow me. I'm asking you to apply the information that I've given to you, to your life, and tell me if it works. You ain't even got to tell me it works. If it's truth, it's going to hit your heart. You're going to hear it and you're going to feel it. It's going to touch you and it's going to say, whoa, that makes sense. You don't have to come live with me. Go do as I do. Live, try, and go live the information. Become the information. I love myself. They cannot kill me. Do not fear. Do not fear the death, for it is only transformation. You have died many times in your life. If I asked you, are you the same person you was 10 years ago, what would you say? You would say, no, I've evolved past that person. That means that person's dead. That person no longer exists, meaning that you have died many times in your life. You are not a baby no more. You are not a teenager no more. That means that person, that being that you see in that picture back in the day is dead. It's no longer existence. It's no longer existent. Therefore, death is no more than a transformation. They cannot kill who I am because I'm bigger than Nature Boy. I'm bigger than this character. I live in the hearts of every being on this planet. I'm only here to activate everything that's already in you. I'm here to enlighten and awaken, and I'm just a character. You see? I'm just a character. They can't kill the truth. They can only disturb you and distract you from it. They can't kill it. I am and always will be. Energy cannot be destroyed. It can only change forms. See? You see? Stay focused. Keep your eye on the prize. Stay focused. So easily distracted. And your subconscious know exactly what you like, and you have to be able to be conscious of all of this so that you can be strong enough to walk through your obstacles. Walk through. You might have certain loved ones in your life you're going to have to let go and outgrow. You're going to have to let it go. That's just part of this obstacle. First, you got to realize this ain't real. This is a virtual world of your mind. None of this is real. First, you got to realize that. And nothing comes before your righteous path. Nothing will get in your way. Nothing will stop you. You have everything you need within you to ensure that you succeed in the game of God, of life. You're collecting information. Everything you've done and all the things that you grow through, it gets saved in the Akashic records. So just like on a video game, when you die in a video game, you have a checkpoint. Your Akashic records is keeping all records of what you did and how you grew and where you didn't grow at. And everything that you do in this life is creating your next reality. And what you will be in your next reality. What your world would look like. What your reality will look like. It's all cause and effect. So be careful how you judge people. Be careful what you do. Be careful how you speak. Walk gently. For you are only dealing with yourself, and how you judge others, you will be judged by the same thing. Pay no attention to demonic beings that rise up in you. You have to see the demons, rebuke the demons, be strong and steadfast. Build yourself up with root of knowledge and wisdom. Make sure that you collect and knowledge and wisdom, and treasure wisdom and knowledge more than chasing money and making sure that you have a home. More than importance than anything, seek ye the kingdom of God first, and knowledge and wisdom of life first, and everything else will be added unto you. Don't get caught up in the bullshit, distractions, Instagram, instant gratification. You know, because we live in a different plane now. We have shifted into a different mind and a different level of consciousness. We are in the information age, the grace period, before the destruction. This is where you will prove yourself to be worthy or spend eternity or an eternity in hell. In your lower self. If you wish death upon anyone else, if you wish harm upon anyone else, repent and turn from your ways. Love yourself. Forgive yourself. The time is now. All the things you read in books, that wasn't just something that just happened then. For energy can only transform into another form. Nothing truly dies. You have to hear the spirit. You have to know the spirit. It comes in many forms, many shapes, many sizes. It can come through your children. It can come through your phone. It can come through your boss. It can come through anybody you think in your life there is. It can come through any form. You got to be able to hear the demons, and you got to be able to hear the angels. You have to hear the voice of reason. And don't pay attention to the messenger too much. Get the message. Collect the information and apply it to your life. And that's all that matters. You ain't got to follow nobody. Only follow wisdom and knowledge. Only apply truth to your life and objectivity. You ain't got to follow nobody. You ain't got to idolize nobody. Apply the information to your life. See if it works. If it doesn't work, go back to the drawing table. Do the math, then apply again, but never give up. When you take one step toward wisdom and knowledge in the kingdom of God, wisdom and knowledge will take 2 steps toward you. Again, I tell you, do not pay attention to the demons that come to distract you and distract the divine message. Love yourself, know thyself, study thyself, get your natal chart done. Know thyself. Understand what this is and how this world works. You just logged into the motherfucker. The earliest memory you have is a baby. Question that. Where were you before you were a baby? Truly, why don't you remember? You just logged in like you logged into this internet called Facebook. That's why we don't believe in birthdays. You can't be born if you're a star, if you're energy. Energy cannot be destroyed nor created, meaning we always were and always will be. Therefore, I cannot be born. There's no beginning to me or ending to me. So therefore, I will not speak that upon me and death upon me. I am infinite. When you ask me how old I am, I will tell you I'm 0. You cannot speak death upon me because I know myself. You cannot speak age upon an ageless being. a shapeless being, a formless being. Get in tune with nature. Move between the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn. Live off grid. Go off grid. Speak the truth. Live the truth. Do not be afraid of the status quo or what your family gonna say. Do not be afraid to be alone. Do not be afraid to walk that path. Because I promise you, there's people just like you waiting for you that feel like you do. And you will not be alone long. I love my self-reflection. Share this video. Stay focused. Stay focused. Don't let them get you off your tail. I love myself. Peace.